we're live. So I'm fiddling with something.
Dangerous.
No, it should be fine. I'm trying to standardize my audio across all my OBS sources, so that my audio is exactly the same when I stream D&D or when I stream this. So I fiddled with some stuff. In addition to that, I also put a noise suppression on. So ideally, my fan won't come through on the actual stream. That is the hope.
Oh.
But it means I need to pay attention because I need to see if I have it balanced right or if I'm too. I think I'm too loud still. So let me. I think we wanted to try to put this to like. I don't remember what I adjusted it to on the other one. I think that's fine. That should be okay. That should be. The problem is if I get really loud, that's still not gonna be good enough. That's if you're gonna be too high. That should be good. That should hit it right where it needs to be, I think. Yeah, I would love to find a way to make you guys consistently the right audio, but that just ain't gonna happen.
I mean, that's partially because Discord likes to mess with it every so often.
But yeah, that and the fact that, like, getting 3 people's mic to sound exactly right on one audio track is not how you do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way I have. So, let's do...
Oh, I can smell brownies from upstairs.
Oh, jealous.
I need to get some water.
Yeah, sure, I'm sure you're getting water. Not the brownies you just smelled. Okay. Oh, so, okay, let's take this time real quick while we're here for me to... So I worked with Sakif the other day, since last podcast, and I went, Sakif, enlighten me. What the fuck was that chat message? And he goes, okay, so let me explain. He goes, so what I meant was that his hoodie looked like the exact one that Saitama wears. And I went, why the fuck did you word it like that? I'm like, that is a much more pristine point of reference you could have talked about. Instead he went, what an ordinary looking fucking hoodie, you shitbag. Which is not also what he said, but it's a lot funnier to think about it like that. I was like, what a weird fucking... Why did you say it like this? We're special around here, all of us.
Wonderful.
I was like, dude, did not come across that way. Would never have thought that you went, wow, that hoodie makes you look like the one that Saitama wears. Fucking anime brain pilled. We're live. I'm pretty sure I said it before. I just wanted to reiterate that we are live. I know John's walked away. I'm actually gonna do a little news roundup. We have a couple of things.
No, I'm good.
Oh, perfect. My voice is gonna be shot by the end of this, by the way, because I had to go outside and actively explain what was going on with my job to like 30 people today, all in a row nonstop. Because I had to go car to car to car to car. Occasionally I could do 2 cars at once and go, there's a power outage. What the fuck do you want from us? I know you're gonna have questions about your groceries. The answer are, no. Not right now. Maybe late. Please try again later.
Power bill, comrade.
I told my manager, I'm like, you should get me a big old sign that just says we are closed on it, and I'll just go outside and spin it. I'll just go have fun outside. It'll save my vocal cords. Do you think he knows we're live?
Who knows?
I don't think he does.
You did again. You did say it before. This
What
was
You
has
said
been-
it, but
Does
also
that-
this is John. We're
Does
talking
that
about.
matter? It
This is the
John.
same person who, after I said a thing, proceeded to repeat the exact same fun fact about something.
We
That
love
was
it.
so funny.
We love it.
Speaking of the thing you just said,
What does it mean, Sakif? How are you?
I gotta go look in chat and see what nonsense
What-
Keith is
What
saying.
you're my friend. What the fuck?
Is he talking
Wow,
shit
alright.
about you?
comrade.
he's talking shit about me.
I need like a light like right over here. Maybe I move this thing.
Numbers are pretty close. Fucking light years away, I'm sure. Yeah, John, we're live, by the way.
Hi, welcome to my face.
I just didn't know if you knew.
Don't move my chair.
He said, okay,
Oh, that's way better. Hey,
I want you to know that
that's like way better.
I directly sent Sakif the
Wow.
the link to the stream. This was his response today. That's what he sent me when we went live.
Holy
I don't know.
shit.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I can't.
I'm gonna
can't
believe
deny it,
him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna believe him because I have no reason. I have
Until
no
you can
way.
prove otherwise. Cannot confirm nor deny.
So according to Google, it's not. But also, Google has 2 different years within the first 2 search results. So, truly, I think the GIF's correct.
Why did something change on my outputs? It's saying that the stream's bitrate is low.
Doesn't
No bits.
look
No
any
bits.
different, but I don't know.
Looks fine to me when I checked it a minute ago.
He wants me to make the bitrate 6800.
In the meantime, look at the haunts. Look at him. He's
The
evil.
haunts.
He's evil.
Apparently,
a
the
Hans.
bitrate is 2500. Should I change that actively?
25 is plenty.
Yeah. So why
You
is
don't want you don't
YouTube?
mess with that, or else it's gonna start like just like
Why is YouTube?
draining your PC.
Why is YouTube doing this to me? YouTube, we're fine.
Small
We're,
EDW too.
it's fun.
It's like warning. Oh, it's telling me I have good connection, not excellent. Interesting.
Oh no.
I bet you that's because it thinks the bitrate's a problem.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll have to go check this out after because it did the same thing for D&D on Thursday. It was like bitrate. I'm like, I don't care right now. Real quick before we get into things, couple of announcements. We'll do the funny ones first. We'll do and by that I mean the ones that are not directly relevant to us immediately right now. Grand Blue Season 2 is in production.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did see that.
That just came out of nowhere. Dangers in My Heart is getting a movie that's going to be a special edition of the anime.
Hmm.
What does that mean? Is that like a HD retelling of a show that already looked pretty good?
A show that was apparently peak that we all hated for 3 episodes in.
So what I've heard, even the people who like it go, it is an absolute slog to get to the first 2.5 to 3 episodes, and then like it immediately drops all of the weird shit that we hated it for.
It starts being
So,
wholesome.
so you just have to get in. You have to. It's like One Piece or something. You gotta get. I got to episode 100 before it's good, or I don't know.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I really felt like a gooner just trying to like be hate.
What is that movie gonna do? The show has 2 seasons. What do you what do you
I don't
do?
All I know is, if you haven't already, mute Makeine on your Twitter and like Yama.
I'm just not gonna look at it until
stuff.
so
Until
couch.
after today, because holy crap, spoilers are popping up, and I'm just like, I have to just mute it now before I see something I shouldn't.
What? Why people be spoiled? I mean, I guess
'Cause
it
it
like
came out
ended like yesterday or
week,
something. People are going
yeah.
crazy.
And for what it's worth, it is the highest rated newly airing show on
People
Mal,
are also going crazy over Oceanoko season 2 on
Yeah,
Twitter, from
which
what I've
is
seen.
also the only thing rated
'Cause it hit a
higher
part.
than
Because it hit a
Makeine
certain
on.
part this week
Yeah.
that anime only watchers, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's a fucking thing you had to deal with.
things that are relevant to us, loosely. Free Run second season's in production.
Let's go.
Relevant because that would have won the podcast if we finished that season. Almost assuredly. I'm so confident.
Mhm.
This one's not relevant, but I didn't say it before. Slime is getting a 4th season and a 2nd movie. So they have confirmed
Oh.
both of those. Now the stuff that's actually immediately actively relevant to us. Last week we mentioned Alya's getting a season 2. Elusive confirmed, not Elusive, sorry, my bad. I was thinking about it because it's the other one it was the other one in contention. Wistoria confirmed season 2, and now it came out at the end of its new episode, which came out tonight. Its last one. I have not watched it yet. I was waiting for both episodes to be out. So yeah, season 2 is in production. Senpai is getting a movie. It is going. It's not a compilation thing. It's a movie. So that is how they're going to tie this up. Which, my understanding is, from how stuff was being adapted pacing wise, that makes sense. Because it did not, from how people were talking, it did not seem like it was going to evenly be able to be adapted into another season, and it seemed like it might not get through the whole thing from source material. So those are the announcements. Those are the things that have happened. With that in mind, do we think we plan to do any kind of content about JJK? Is that something is that something where we shouldn't do that here because we think we want to do something with that on its own?
I don't have anything planned for it.
I don't even have like comments to give about this ending.
Yeah.
It happened. I don't know.
It's over. We'll see what Gage does next. Hopefully he goes on the same arc that the My Hero creator does, where they just now draw absolutely fucking S-tier art of their own characters now that they're done writing for it.
And now doesn't given more than a week to draw 18 bazillion pictures of them.
I
think
think
spend like time just drawing.
I think he's gonna do what the Golden Kamuy author did and go do what he wants to do now that he did a thing that sold well and he can basically put his name on anything.
Wait, you mean he's not gonna do the thing
Go
that
make
Kaguya-sama author did, which is start another best-selling manga while you're still finishing your other manga?
Yeah, he at least finished this one.
He's working on this one, but
unlike the
we're on a
Golden-
2-week break because the Apex season dropped this past week, so we got a week off right now.
That's so
But-
silly.
It's really.
He puts it with the patch cycle. I swear to God, every time.
But
That
I
shit's peak.
I don't largely have too much I want to say now. I'm not upset at the ending. I don't think it's bad. It definitely didn't do what I was really hoping. For how it sets up leading into this chapter, we sure didn't spend as much time on the thing that we did. And I actively think that the scene with Yuji and the person they catch is probably a better last panel to this manga than what we get. Personally. Because I think that's like that feels like the actual send-off, and then we talk about Sukuna stuff and it feels weird to have that be the end of the manga. And to have a weird Mahito gag at chapter fucking end. Strange.
Yeah, at chapter this far.
Yeah.
I love chapter fucking end.
Chapter fucking end.
272 or something.
71.
Fucking, I was close.
But guys, spoilers again, but we're gonna say spoilers on the podcast. But guys, Gojo's coming back, I swear. Next chapter
We
for
swear.
sure.
Next chapter for sure.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to particularly talk about from this week. Really good panel from Ultimate Exorcist this week. Wonderful Hematen chapter.
Hematen continues
Hematen,
to be peak.
this new
Hematen-
character is so fucking good. I adore her.
She's so good.
Okay. Ichi the Witch, Ichi this week specifically in the manga is a fucking goofball, and I love him now.
He's such a goober.
Yep.
He's great.
Mason.
Our 3 new stuff's real good.
Yeah, Mason and I.
Otaku based.
Yeah, Mason and I know Kagurabachi gives us a chapter on the coolest character they introduced, making him an even cooler fucking character.
Yes.
Samurai who is blind because he gouged his own eyes so that he wouldn't be a degenerate human being. and thus
So he's
fights
just Fujitora.
and thus
So
fights
he's
with
base.
echolocation.
He's so
Again,
based.
Fujitora.
Michael,
Yeah,
there's a
no,
part
straight up it is.
there's a part in this chapter where the people he's fighting go, well, the people who are talking about him are like, we shouldn't get involved because he fights based off sounds and that could mess him up. And then and they go, but his opponents will eventually pick up on that. And immediately the opponents go, oh, he fights on sound. We'll just silently move away. And the manga goes, no. In fact, what he does is he draws and closes his sword so fast that it produces sound waves so that he can find people.
Base.
And then
Holy
and then
days.
perhaps some of the coolest fucking paneling in this manga happens. Cigarette.
He's so rad.
That chapter is so Kagurabachi is cooking. That manga is great. I'm in love with it.
Same. I cannot wait for this to get animated.
Oh, dude.
Eventually, I gotta start reading that manga.
You do. It's peak.
Da. That's everything I want to talk Shonen Jump. I need to quickly run through a couple of things. On the Manga Plus. A really weird thing happened. I started reading manga that has really fine detailed and incredible art. And then the new chapter of You and I Are Polar Opposites came out, and my mind had to readjust, because I'm like, wow, this style is nowhere near what I've been reading. It feels really weird. That was the first time that's ever happened to me, where, like, I've actively enjoyed reading something, and then started reading things that looked vastly different, went back and went, this is now jarring and weird for this week. That's unfortunate, because that manga's really good. It'll probably be fine. It's not its fault. I swear. I mentioned last week that Hero Organization did the thing I expected it to do. We got the follow-up to it this week. That manga's gonna be rad as fuck. They do some cool shit in there. I meant to send this when I read the chapter. John, you need to go read Hope You're Happy, Lemon.
Oh no.
This art's made for you.
Fuck. Yeah. It tastes smoky.
Great,
That's
beautiful,
so
fucking
cute.
incredible character. I'm a monster and cannot be stopped, so I have read and finished 2 more manga this week. Finished one that is actually done, caught up to one that is seemingly on a hiatus right now. The first one is Katanakio. It's Italian. I'm sorry. You shoot me. It's a soccer manga. It's cool. It sucks to read a new soccer manga because the entire comment section of it is, this is Blue Lock. The manga's not Blue Lock. It's very much not Blue Lock. But it is funny. And then I went and read all of Shiro Moriya's Soloist in a Cage. That manga's fucking fantastic. 20 chapters. Very much feels like it ended exactly the way it was supposed to end, not getting cut off at all. The Shiro Moriya's art is incredible. And Soloist in a Cage is a really, really killer story. Perhaps some of the coolest, like I don't want to throw post-apocalyptic because that's not quite it, but like sci-fi, like
Dystopian.
yeah, sci-fi dystopian, like kind of realistic art I've seen in a while. They are now actively doing Astro Baby, which I checked out the first couple of chapters on. Astro Baby's interesting. I don't know if I'll keep checking that out. The story, I'm not as sold on the story and the characters there. I want to try to get you some examples on what I mean. For Soloist in a Cage. I'm gonna get 1 or 2 that I think do a really good job of this. But while I do that, outside of that, I played some more Astrobot. That game's really good. I beat the first world. I'm having a grand old time. And then I started playing a tiny bit of Ghost of Tsushima. Not far enough that like I am actively that I can give lots of thoughts on it, but I like how that game controls. Seems very good. Yeah, I think these three
think?
photos should sum up what I want to send without spoiling anything. But outside of that, that is roughly all for me. We played D&D. We're back on the main storyline, and things are definitely going fine. There are no problems.
Nope.
Our
That's-
D&D party is definitely not seemingly ready to crumble at any moment. There's definitely no issues within the group at all. Everything is fine and everyone is happy. Trust me.
I trust you. That's
Promise.
okay.
Real quick, let me.
Talking about JJK because I'm Sean's in the middle of finding something. There's a panel where Fushiguro's walking out of a building, and his foot is drawn incorrectly, and it looks like he is. I have sat here staring at this panel for a good 20 minutes to go, how is this supposed to look? Why does it look bad? What is the problem here? And his foot's just, they legitimately drew an extra, like, millimeter of his foot on top of a railing when it's supposed to be, like, on, like, the layer behind it.
Can you send this?
I can. I will send the exact panel that
Because I want to know what the fuck you're talking. I want to see this.
Mm-hmm. What else have you done while you're searching for that one, Michael?
So I started playing Baldur's Gate again. This is partially because a friend had just got the game, which then caused me and other people to start another multiplayer run through. And then I'm playing it. We have there's 3 of us playing, and we're all playing as Dex characters. So one of them playing a monk. The other was playing a rogue, and I joined. I went to make a character, and I went. What?
No, okay. You're doing a separate thing besides this.
Well, yes, yeah, I'm doing a separate one from
yeah.
this. There's the monk and the rogue, and I was looking at them, I was like, what do I want to do? I was like, fuck it, Gith Ranger. So 3 of us are Dex characters. It's a funny little time. Anytime it's like a strength based thing, it's like, we can't do that. Except like most of the things that require strength, the Gith just kind of gets for free because Gith is a stupid race that does stupid things. Crazy. You have a once per either long rest or short rest, I don't remember. You can cast jump on yourself for free.
Yep.
Just because Gith needs it. And then I went, okay, fuck it. Instead of completing any of my like other 6 started runs that I have, most of them are literally I made it like one day. I got really into making characters. So I have like 5 characters that have gone literally not even 3 steps into the Nautiloid. But I started a origin character run. I am playing as Will. Because that's mainly because one, I want to do a Karlach romance, and I think Will and Karlach they're built to go together like perfectly, like, the way the 2 of them are. So like it feels really weird to do a romance with either. Because like whatever. Not gonna talk about their endings too, but yeah. But yes, I'm doing a Will origin character thing, and it is really funny doing origin character things, and like when characters having different reactions to you based off like certain things. And also just you get to locations where like the location where you would meet the character, and like you don't. You're just here. And it's really weird. Like you get the Emerald Grove and there's no Will there to find.
Michael and I had the fun conversation where he went, what happens if you play as Lizelle? And I went, oh, there's another Gith there. He goes, what? And I go, yeah, they just put another Gith at the beginning of the story so that you have a person to fight through the Nautiloid with in addition, like you would with if you would when Lizelle joins you. And that Gith just doesn't make it off the Nautiloid.
It's because I understand like balancing that. It'd be insane because you can miss the other character on the Nautiloid. That is a completely missable thing. Like solving the puzzle to do that. So you would go to the final Nautiloid section with yourself, because it's entirely possible to miss us as well.
Yeah.
Us is my goat, but like it's entirely possible to miss him.
The lad.
I love Us. Us is my fella. Us is my little guy. But yeah, So I'm doing some of that. I'm playing some more Deadlock. Deadlock is certainly one of the video games of all time still. Looking at video game. I played a lot of Lethal Company like last night. Lethal Company's funny. Mods are really silly. They let you do very silly things. Especially when you have a mod that adds like 115 emotes to the game. So you just run around doing Fortnite dances with people. 10 out of 10 moments. Another game I started. This is something I can't see on Steam. So someone on the Outer Wilds subreddit posted, "Hey, does anyone want to play test my game that I'm making?" And I was like, "Fuck it, we ball." It is a game called Chroma Zero. You can wishlist it on Steam. It does exist on Steam.
Yo.
But I have one. I have a alpha like developer build of that game that I've been slowly getting through. It's a pretty cool game. It's very much being in the Outer Wilds subreddit. It's very much that style of game. It's as it's called as the community calls it, is a knowledge-based adventure game.
That's right.
Where you have a very like seemingly small world of things, but there's so much and everything's accessible. You just have to figure out how to do it. This game based on seeing the name Chroma in it. It's very color based. So the entire like main mechanic is like picking up and placing colors to like get to places. I won't explain any more past that because I think this game's like intro segment is so fucking cool. This game's when this game releases in like a year or something, it's gonna be sick. Yeah, I don't know if there's any like bugs. The biggest issue with these kinds of games that you can never tell what's a bug and what's not. Because some shit happens and I go, was that intentional? I don't know. I can tell when like in dialogue bits there's commas missing. Like I can tell you that's a thing because I know where commas are supposed to be.
Do
like,
you?
that kind of stuff,
Do you computer science major?
I know where
I know how lists work when you put things next to each other, and the fact that there weren't any commas between a person labeling 3 things next to each other.
None at all.
Hey, there were like 0 commas. It was like thing, and thing, and there was just no commas there.
We love it.
I was like, damn, crazy. Man, that game's been. My brain is not big enough to play this video game. But we're trying.
Why his feet like that?
Yeah, like that foot should not be there.
No.
That is standing on the railing, and my brain just I literally got stuck on this panel for like 5 minutes reading the page. I was like, how? I was like, is that correct? My brain tried to like logic maybe that is correct, but there wouldn't. But say it's like okay, say maybe that dark part's supposed to be the entire railing.
Yeah.
My brain's like, oh, maybe the dark part's the railing, but then the spot under it wouldn't have that like depth portion to it. So that entire like white block is he just placed his foot in the wrong fucking place.
Oh, that's weird.
But yeah. Talking about manga, I finished Astro Lost in Space last night. I read the last like 20 chapters in a big burst.
Sometimes you do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. 20 chapters of that is like an hour and a half to 2 hours. It is a very dialogue dense manga. See, the issue with Astra is that once you hit like chapter 30, you physically cannot put that thing fucking down. The first like 25 chapters of that manga is one manga, and then it just goes, and then it does it again every like 30 seconds from that point on. It just takes everything you thought you knew and just flips it on its head over and over. It's fucking sick. Astro Lost in Space is awesome. You guys should read it. It's only 49 chapters or something. Yeah, it's 49. It's funny because if you look at its chapter count, it says 67. It's because it has 18.5s.
Yep.
And these 0.5s are just a single page, like 2 4-panel mangas next to each other that are just bits with the characters. Which gives you a really funny bit. I'll send this one. This is the bottom 3 panels of one because the top one's a spoiler.
That's really funny.
It's technically a spoiler to see. Whatever. It's fine. If I don't explain that there's a spoiler there, it doesn't matter.
Among Us.
Again, it's just really funny with Fudishi just going, "Yo, big butts."
The fucking looks they
But
get.
funnily enough, this bit comes back up in the manga. Her saying this comes back up later.
Based. Astra has an anime.
It does.
There's 12 episodes. Every episode is named one word, with the exception of like 2 or 3 that have more. But
I can't imagine the anime can get through. That's a lot of content to get through. I don't know. Maybe I mean, I do know Bakuman also tells its story a lot faster than I would have expected.
oh, if it makes you feeling better, the last episode's 49 minutes,
I mean,
and the first one's
it's
47.
fine.
So it's kind of like it's 15 episodes
no, you know
or
what?
something.
Yeah, that would be like 14-ish. Yeah.
Because
I mean,
basically,
I don't imagine it's impossible, just because it being so dialogue dense. You get through that a lot faster when characters are speaking it.
True.
Generally, again, like Bakuman, I think is like 12 to 13 episode seasons, and it's 160 something chapters of super dialogue dense manga. Because it's just people yapping about manga.
you got anything else, Michael?
I don't think I do.
Mason?
I know. We're good.
So I've had my usual like Sunday manga spree. Also read the Kaiju chapter that was this week.
Oh, shoot, we did have that.
Yeah, we did have that.
It happened.
That manga's certainly ending soon. Hakutaku chapter, like I said earlier, is really good. I'm really interested in that manga now. Shoot, what else? I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh recently, like Master Duel specifically, because new Air Mage cards came out on there, and that deck's fun. That's my pet deck, so I've been having fun with that. Played a little bit of TFT. I'm clawing my way up through Platinum right now. That's been fun. I don't think I've really done anything else. Yeah, no. I've had a pretty boring past couple of days, and it's not been very long since we did last podcast.
Yeah, it's
so-
only
Yep.
been like 4 days.
Yeah.
Or, by the way, T-minus 3 days until next Showa Shoten chapter. The boys are ready!
Let's go. How about you, John?
Read this week's Otokonoko chapter. Holy fuck. We actually do get a chapter this week. I just checked, which is crazy because holy fuck. That's all I need to say about it. Caught up with most stuff. Obviously finished JJK with you. Same with you guys. My Hero's done, so I'm not reading that anymore. I stopped reading Komi-san a while ago. Like my manga list is down to 2 right now. And that's just Otokonoko and Chainsaw Man. That's it. Actually, I do read Kaiju number 8 as well, but it's always like on my phone.
Yeah.
Movies.
But I am up with Tower of God again. Caught up with that. I've been reading another manhwa that's called like I Stole the First Ranker's Soul or something like
oh,
that.
you're
Pretty good.
reading Tower of God?
Oh yeah, I'm caught up.
Okay. I didn't know
I didn't
that.
want to watch that garbage season 2 shit. Ew. I heard it looked terrible. I watched like a couple of things.
That is
Yeah,
the
it looks
feedback
terrible.
That's the feedback I got from Dylan.
Which sucks because like once you get like the start of the second season is like a slow burn, but like once you get to the good shit, it gets back to the good shit. From what I remember. But obviously our buddy Austin's back up here. Mason, I forgot to mention, Austin got something for you. Do you want to see it now or do you want to wait?
I'll see it now, I guess.
Okay. He got you this. It's a little chopper figure. Look at the silly little guy.
A little guy.
I
Well,
love
our
him.
little guy.
Yep.
I need to tell Austin thank you.
Yep. So when you come this side of town next year, when I see you for Yoma, you'll have to come grab it.
I'm honestly not sure if I'll be able to go to Yola, but we'll see.
Whenever you're on this side of town,
Yeah.
you can have it. Biggest news this week: the Tigers completed one of the biggest runs in the history of baseball, in which they had made the playoffs while being over 8 games back on August 1st of under 500. They caught up a 9.5 game gap with the Minnesota Twins, who just went. And on top of that, the same game they won, which was 2 games ago because they lost the last 2. They beat the
Baseball
White
history.
Sox They beat the White Sox, who made history with the first ever team to lose 121 games in a single season. It is the most losses in the modern baseball era, which is since like the 1900s. The White Sox suck, but the Tigers went from a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs to actually making the playoffs. And the best part is they get to go up against our manager's former team, the Astros, which is funny, which would mean if they win, probably place Cleveland in the divisional round and then possibly face the Yankees in that round. And then you go to the World Series where they could face the Padres, who was the last team the Tigers beat in the World Series back in 84, or the Phillies is another team who the Tigers' former GM and last member of a Tigers roster that's still active in the baseball, Nick Castellanos, plays for back when they made it 10 years ago. Oh, or you could fight the Dodgers, who we traded one of our players for in the midseason. So they sold at the deadline, still made the playoffs. Ridiculous run. It's very cool to see. But yeah, outside of that, been following some of the news in the Hololive community because one of the first English members is not leaving per se or like retiring, but just taking a step back from streaming basically, and is going to provide like a supportive role through Hololive Corp, which is interesting. But yeah, it's been a fun sports week for me. I just was kind of following the Tigers incredibly closely. Worlds has started for League of Legends as well. Split 3 has started, so ranked reset. After finishing duo queuing with Amber and getting her to gold for her Sona skin, I got my account back to plat here, and then probably gonna climb back to Emerald again just for funsies at some point. Went to a VGC local twice this weekend. Didn't cut yesterday, cut today, finished top 8, lost to a guy, lost in round 3 because of Sucker Punch 50-50s, because haha, King Gambit's a funny and balanced Pokemon. Great job, Pokemon Company. I love that we have 3 really dominant Pokemon in the format right now. A Steel type, and a Steel type, all released in this game. They're all bullshit. Dortmund Regional just finished today in Europe, which is cool. And I'm going to Louisville in, I think, 2 weeks now for that regional. And I have no team yet. But I did get to use the funny Toadscruel today because that Pokemon is silly. And unfortunately he was taken out back after this event, and he will not be returning to my teams. But ooh, brownies. Yay. Thank you. So yeah, it was a fun day. I like playing Pokemon. Hopefully I can do at least okay at this regional coming up. Still don't know what I want to play. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We got time. I think that's kind of it.
And with that, it is time to do what we're here to do. Podcast. You might be thinking, guys, you're 40 minutes in and you haven't really talked anime yet. Yeah, that's because it's going to be quick tonight. We gotta pad the episode somehow.
Amber, my fiance, who sits right over there, listens to him, and she'll like zone out while playing something, and she'll finish like a game of League of Legends and be like, "They haven't even talked about a show yet."
And then
Fuck.
The next time it happens, we're done with the episode. At this point.
Sometimes.
But so we're gonna be talking about episode 11s. These are the second to last episodes for all of these shows. All of these shows end at 12. And it's gonna be spoilers. It's gonna be harsh language. Yada yada yada. The general gist of it. It's time to power rank, and by that I mean we have already power ranked, and thus I have a power ranking to share. It's here, right here, right now. There.
Wow.
Wild.
Wow, what a wild and crazy power ranking, guys, with diverse opinions.
Anything could happen tonight here on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We'll not know what's gonna go down until it goes down. Who knows what opinions look like? We'll never have a clear consensus. And with that, hey, ladies and gentlemen, maybe this is a perfect example of why there might be something changing next season on the podcast. You never know. You never know. Who's to say? So let's get into Senpai. It's show to kick us off. We'll run it down. This is gonna be really quick because like 3 things happened this episode. So Ali expresses that hey, her grandmother approved. She's gonna meet up with her mom some more. The gang, as in Makoto and Ryuji, are going on a class trip. So Ali doesn't get to be here because she's a year below them. And we get introduced to new character June. Wild, who is like, hey guys, I need a favor. I don't think this man's been in this show before. I could be wrong. But he goes, I need a favor.
Bless you.
There's a girl I really like, and I'm gonna need you to help me
Thank you.
get with her and like help me get to spend free time with her because Makoto, you and her used to be friends. Makoto goes, yeah, used to. I sure could try. And then Hayase looks across the room and goes, Makoto, and then goes to go talk to him, and then he gets stolen away. This is gonna happen a couple of times. But they all agree to they actually all agree to go on the class trip together and spend the free time portion, including girl who is friends, who thus became friends with Makoto earlier at like the dance stuff. She's back, she's here, she's great. She makes some wonderful faces this episode, in the background. Ali has another meeting with her mom, and her mom's like, hey, your friends are going on a trip, we're gonna go on a trip together. Why is this ominous to me? There's nothing here that sets this up as it's a bad thing, but it sure has feel.
Except for like everything, nothing sets us up as the bad thing.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just what I've done to this show, and maybe this is actually gonna just end peacefully and happily for Ali. It's possible, maybe. So we get on the trip. Makoto and Hayase try to talk to each other at any point in time throughout the trip, and everyone goes no. The cast of Nokotan goes no. Some pigeons go no. Lots of no's. Makoto also mentions that when he gets back, he's gonna tell his mom about how he wants to live his life. That is gonna go great. But eventually, the gang meets up on the trip, and they go and they get to wear kimonos. All the girls look nice and fancy, beautiful. Both the boys freak out at their respected one that they like. And then Makoto and Hayase get a chance to talk on a bench about what happened in the past. And the simple truth of the matter is, Makoto's gonna tell Hayase, hey, I'm a dude. You should know that because we're friends, and I would want you to know that before you find out otherwise. And then Hayase finds out otherwise because a guy comes to confess that he likes Makoto, and Makoto's like, I gotta let you know that I'm a dude, so no. And the guy thinks that he's fucking with him, and it's just trying to brush him off. And then they fall. They get into a little bit of a tussle. I think maybe he pushes Makoto. They fall, and he sees Makoto's stomach, and that is enough to go, oh shit, you're a dude, and then rats into the entire school about it, because he's an asshole. We see that Hayase feels bad because she wishes she could have been like, hey, I still want to be friends with you because we have all these things in common. I actually don't care that you're a guy who cross-dresses. But everybody around her was like, no, stay away from him, he's a pervert. Wonderful school times. Makoto is like, yeah, you know what, we can still be friends, I actually would like that'd be great. And then Hayase starts crying, so June runs in to defend his woman, and makes a fool of himself. He also then blurts out that he likes Hayase, and then is worried that she is not going to like him back because they are two complete opposite personalities, to which Ryuji is based and goes, it shouldn't matter if you think you're the right person for her. If you love somebody, you should love somebody, and you should keep after it. And then he stops and go, wait, shit, what did I just say? Fuck, no. Becoming self-aware. And then they get back from the trip, and June, verbally in front of every single human being possibly in their grade, goes, hey, I like you, we should be friends? Everyone goes, oh, he blew it. He choked up, he blew it. And then she goes, I'd like us to be friends, and everybody cheers happily. This school went from being the most unaccepting place on the planet to the most accepting place on the planet. Apparently, the middle school to high school glow up in Japan is crazy.
Right.
I mean, it feels like they really kind of just like got used to Makoto, but they
Yeah.
are kind of cute though.
There's a lot of
Like,
there's a
it's
lot
kinda
of
how it went.
there's a lot of people in this school who are like, Makoto's kind of rad, actually, kind of based. and that's
Yeah,
just good
This
enough for
guy's kind of
everybody.
base and super nice to everybody,
And kind of
like
cute.
kind of cute though with that Wagon though.
And then we get to try to think if anything of super importance happens before this, but I think Makoto just gets to go home. Makoto attempts to talk to his mother and uses the handkerchief as the explanation piece, and then she hyperventilates into a panic attack. Seems to be what happens. To which Makoto starts to feel horrible about, and Makoto's dad comes in and goes, "Hey, here's your mom's dad's address. You're gonna go talk to him. Do not blame yourself for this. It's time for you to figure some things out." I wonder where this could be going.
No, we're good probably.
I actually think this part is probably gonna be fine. But yeah. So we don't necessarily get everything with the Owie stuff. I like this episode. It is nowhere near this show's best episode. It certainly does not really move the needle for it, and it is certainly the least productive of any of her episodes 11s, which is something to say at this point. But I don't think anything here is bad. I don't think it's a bad episode, and I don't think it really moves the show down any. So at this point, it's just a matter of where Senpai goes for its finish in its next episode. Take it away, boys.
So, don't get me wrong. I do like this show a lot. But something has to be fourth. And this show, I think, out of everything, did the least in terms of, like, just general events that happen this episode and what it does for the overall plot of the story compared to what the other shows did. And at this point, that's enough for me to turn off right now. Like, it's hard to find the thing that needs to go. So
For me, it's more so like every show is kind of like building up to a good stopping point, right? Or doing something right now. This show feels like it's kind of put a lot of its like tension and a lot of stuff we were really excited about from like episode like 7, 8 kind of to the side to do some of these side stories, right? Because this feels like this episode didn't advance the plot at all, right?
Yeah.
This feels like just like a side episode. And in episode 11, it's hard to like be excited about the side episodes when it's like I want stuff to happen with these characters. Obviously, like we had a little bit with Allie where it's like, we still know obviously stuff's going on in Heroine with her mom that clearly some bomb's gonna drop, and obviously we have something with Makoto's grandpa,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
That is an issue as well. But sorry, it's just interesting. It's like I don't think it's a great choice for like the pacing of the show. I feel like this could have been put in at a different point almost at times. But yeah, like I said, it's like Mason said, it's not that this is a bad show. It's just like it leaves a bit wanting at this point.
yeah,
And a lot of other shows are just doing stuff that's more exciting. And I mean, I don't think it's particularly like wide gap between this and like Elusive Samurai, but I just think Elusive Samurai overall has been like just a slight smidgen above in like the overall like show from like this point. Because at this point, my list becomes a lot more like overall kind of power rankings. Basically, is kind of how I try to get. At least once we get like halfway through the season, I start to kind of like go, okay, well, where has the show been and where is it like going at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna like flip really fast a lot of times unless something really really big happens, right? So that's kind of where like the show just ended up kind of just a little bit below Samurai for me right now. I think part of it's also the Cloverworks effect, where like, goddamn, they can animate some pretty shows. So yeah, I think it's really good though. I think I'll probably be watching episode 12 regardless of whichever one gets voted off.
Yeah.
We'll kind of go from there.
My thoughts generally be Sean's way crazy. The PR kind of shows that too. What?
Whoa! No way!
It doesn't push it a ton. More of my thoughts on exactly like on the PR is going to come when we get to Elusive, but yeah, I just really like these three. I think they're fantastic. I think it was strange to introduce two entirely new characters in episode 11, but that's just how the webcomic or manga is written. That's just they can't like not introduce those characters there, and the story wasn't written to have like conclusions at 12 episode intervals.
Because my imagination here is that the school trip's the important thing, so we want something to do on the school trip, and we've resolved the Makoto Ryuji stuff. So this is a nice little like I'm viewing this as like this is the breather we're gonna get before we do everything, before everything comes crashing down real quick, is kind of the feel it has, while also giving a brief moment to put Makoto back in the spotlight, because I think it would feel a little weird to jump back into Makoto stuff without like moving Makoto back to the center of the frame, right? Because Ryuji and Aoi have kind of been the center of like what's been going on like with issues, like since the dance stuff, like identity-wise for Makoto, a lot of this has been sidelined a little. So we're like it's the author, I think, trying to wheel things back into place where it's like, okay, let us remind you that Makoto has something going on here too, by bringing a character who had past ties and kind of flushing out a little bit more of what happened there, and then giving him reason to want to also go talk to his mother again, more motivation, because now you have him talking to someone who he thought originally had been like, no, actually, I don't want to be your friend because you were a boy the whole time. So once you move past that, you're able to go talk to your mom. So, like, I don't think it's totally out of left field, but I mean, watching the episode, you absolutely go, oh, we're doing this here, huh? Interesting choice. Like, it is certainly a mood. Yeah, I know. I know. Loosely, I think for Michael and I, the big thing is, him and I have had Senpai pretty high throughout the season. So like it's kind of like the show didn't necessarily have to move much higher. It's just a matter of where it matches up to the other things on the docket. And what we're gonna talk about next certainly has been making moves the past couple of weeks.
Big moves.
I think we're just good to go on into this. So John, all of us get to talk this episode.
Yeah,
What a
so
great like semifinal.
Alya's also we actually have one show each of us.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job us guys for keeping it fair, balanced, and having good taste.
Yeah, it definitely was like that the whole way through, and we totally. They went on in equal intervals, right? It went 1, 1, 1, 1,
Yeah, I
1,
think so.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
perfect.
did they should have gone for like 2, 2, 2, 2? Like I think that's actually exactly what happened. Because I lost 2. Then
no,
it was
'cause-
Suicide Squad.
No, because Suicide Squad and Shoshimen had a huge break between them.
Oh yeah.
But otherwise,
That's right. So
Otherwise.
Senpai,
Because John's
sorry,
did go
Senpai.
off twice in a row. I do remember that.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think Sean just lost
Yes.
the second to last 2
yes.
weeks.
But in Alya this week, we have our main boy is sick, and so he has to spend some time at home. Yuki hears about this, and she has Alya go and take care of him. Simple enough, very wholesome. It's very simplistic. She brings her little apron over. She gives him a choice between borscht
Borscht.
and porridge, right? And so she's like, great. It's gonna take a nice short 4 hours. And he's like, do you want me to starve to death? She's like, okay, porridge it is. Got it. And she goes and makes him some porridge and gives him some medicine, and he goes to sleep. And then he wakes up like a half a day later and goes, that was way too much sleep. She definitely has gone home by now. And instead we have 2 maids now, because they multiply.
You go to sleep
because
and another one shows up.
Aino and Alya now are both competing for it, and Aino's like, no, Yuki sent me. It's fine. Copium. I almost admitted that he's my master, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. And so Alya finally concedes and goes home. Aino kind of takes out some of the borscht that she ended up making anyways, because Alya's the goat. And eats that, and then goes to give him some medicine again, and he goes, or no, he did take the medicine that day, and then
He
the next
slept,
morning,
yeah.
Aino's there again. He's like, man, I overslept. Good thing I guess I'm staying home from school today. And he takes a look at the medicine that Alya brought from Yuki and goes, this is like NyQuil PM Extreme. What the fuck? And decides, I'm going to school to figure out what she is scheming and what happened. Because Aino's also acting weird about it. So Kusei ends up going back to school. He sees Alya alone in the classroom because clearly something happened that he missed during the daytime. And it was all part of Yuki's scheme, basically, to have Alya come on the lunch radio and look very insecure, talking about stuff. And kind of playing like both sides of like very like almost like menacing, and then also being like very sweet in the radio room, and then trying to play the sob story of her not labeled as dead, but estranged brother
Yeah,
that is no longer with us. She says.
doesn't say dead, but Alya
She
interprets
doesn't
it
say dead.
as
She just
dead.
says is no longer with us. Which is very easily interpreted as dead. As the countdown's going, she's like, so anyways, well, tell me why you want to be president. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, looks like time's up. Anyways, hello everybody. It's time for the news, and we have a special guest, a nervous wreck. So she kind of like bombs on the radio. She gets through it. We don't see much of it, just that she's like very like distracted and like not focused, unfortunately. To which Kuze doesn't realize what she said until the end of it and goes, she did not play the dead brother card. I am right fucking here. I have to tell, and then gets interrupted. Because the Chisaki and the blonde one whose name I always forget come in and have a talk where they're not gonna withdraw, but they're kind of gonna throw. Is the idea. And so Kuze comes up with a plan to kind of use their influence to help bolster their own campaign and kind of go on a bit of a counterattack. And he has like the most like menacing evil grin on his face, to which Alya goes, kind of hot.
This is the most fucking louche smirk I've seen,
dude,
since
both him
Code
and Yuki were kind of just like locked in evil bad guy mode this episode.
Yes.
Yuki kind of a little shit, kind of really unfair. To which Kuse's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not gonna play fair. I can play that game too. And they're all kind of in on it. So I like that the show's doing stuff and it's setting up for a big like debate final showdown here in the next episode. Like it's doing what the show should do. I like that we have a slice of life rom-com with plot that's moving and like things are happening around the characters to like help push them together and push things to happen. It's nice to see. Yeah, the show's funny. I also just love her Russian this episode. It was great.
Yeah, it's good to have it
really
again.
Funny.
Yeah.
Very cute.
I definitely think
very mindful, very demure.
I definitely think my worry from last week is probably going to be true. We got a tiny bit of the Masachika stuff at the beginning about his mom, but it's definitely taking the back burner for probably season 2, where we're going to go more into like the individual character problems. But I mean, perfect build-up, setup, ready to send you off to the finale of a season that is going to be a pure heavy debate, while leaving a bunch of room for you to wonder what exactly the plans are. Perfectly executed the whole way through. Absolutely killer. Very few gags throughout the episode. It's very just straightforward. Like, you get the Russian gag because it's not an obtrusive gag. It can happen while it can happen and still move the story fine without like breaking the atmosphere or the tension. It's very nice. Really incredible episode. The show's had a great showing.
Yeah, but again, it still doesn't forget to have its guys, because the entire thing when Ayano shows up, Alya and Ayano having the argument over who's going to take care of Kuze. It's like a 3-minute just bit.
Yeah.
It's good. Into Ayano almost spilling the beans again because she's really bad at hiding.
Yeah.
Which then leads to Kuze almost voluntarily spilling the beans at the end, but like it's fine.
It's fine, copium.
This episode was just so good. Like,
did I watch this episode? Did I watch this episode dubbed or subbed?
I know I watched it dubbed. I watched everything today.
I watched it today. I don't remember if I watched this episode subbed or dubbed.
Do I wait till next week to watch it in the dub, or do we just watch it after this? Is the question.
I mean, it will purely depend on when we're able to do the scheduling, because I am going camping, from the 10th to the 11th to the 13th, I want to say. So my Friday, Saturday, Sunday of that week, I am not here. So it'll purely depend on when scheduled lines, but if we do it before it, because what's also important is that means one of my days in that following week of Wednesday or Thursday, it's looking like it's a Thursday, so I should be fine. But one of my work days, I'm gonna be my days off. I'm gonna be working, so like my schedule gets a little wonky. So we'll have to see.
2 weeks for now, so we should be okay.
Yeah, we should be fine. So it should be. It shouldn't be problems. We should have everything done. Mason, any other thoughts?
No, just shows it's pleasantly surprising at how it started versus how far it's come. I thought this show was just going to be kind of run of the mill, like trashy rom-com, and it's become just an incredible slice of life, like character drama. I love it.
Kuze, the GOAT.
He really is.
But yeah, the backstory stuff with Kuze, where we learn like kind of why he disconnected from the family and all that. Got stuff with his mom. Oh my goodness, so good. Peak content. Yeah, it's just a fucking good story. I expected the stuff Yuki did to be worse, really, based on the way like people are like, because as Kuze's walking
Yeah.
into the school, we hear like, oh, and the eagle shows her talons or whatever.
Oh,
Whatever
she committed
person said.
genocide. Oh.
I expected there to be more than just before the PA thing went. She rattled her. She rattled her so she didn't talk very much. I thought they had some like crazy conversation where she just cooked her over the PA.
Yeah, but I think the idea
Yeah.
is that this school has such a big influence in how its like student government is that someone looking
Yeah, I
very
mean, they literally have
weak
big
in
assemblies for student debate.
yeah,
so.
someone looking weak like just in back-to-back conversation, like looking not as fit for a position is just kind of killer. But
Yeah,
like
it's a real effect too in politics. I mean, that's why you see like these like stern, like
Yeah.
very like forceful people talking and making debates because it looks like power, basically.
like Masachika says though, like if she was doing this to bury her, she would have done it during the day, not at the end of the day. Which is an interesting
She would have done it not
point.
on a half day.
Like it was definitely meant to fuck with Alya in particular, not to like completely ruin it.
Yeah.
Or there's an argument that she's doing it because she knows it's gonna rile up Masachika, which is in my head, probably what it actually is that she's doing this to get him to actually take this seriously. But we'll see. Or will we?
We could certainly hope.
Four of us on the
Voting everything.
Four of us on the podcast go, this show's incredible. What a great week. It's had a wonderful build-up. 4 slays. 4 slays. 4 slays. Wheel the whole show. Everything goes.
Man, this show,
Everything.
man, Senpai's been really good. It's kind of, I like the characters. Wow, Elusive Samurai looked really pretty this week.
Makeine, if any of you put a slay on Makeine this week, you're leaving the podcast. Let's talk about
Get her
Elusive,
out of here. Get her out of here.
So, Elusive this week. So we have a new mission for Tokiyuki's group, and it is, hey, there are some people that are in a different prefecture, but they're loyal to the Suwa like name. They're getting their asses beat. Go help them. And so Tokiyuki's group heads over there. They've been this like sect has basically been overrun by a provincial official from the emperor who just decides, well, I'm the hand of the emperor here, and I have literally no oversight, so I can do whatever I want. So he just starts killing people and taking land. And this group is a bunch of rebels that are fighting against this. And Tokiyuki is sent there because they are outnumbered, they are outclassed, they need to retreat, but they don't want to. They want to die glorious deaths worthy of samurai. And they're like insane about this. They will not think of anything else. When they get there, there's also another guy from a neighboring village that is like, yeah, no, these guys are idiots. We keep telling them to just retreat to the north and link up with us, and instead they just want to fight and die. So if you can get them to change their mind, that'd be great. They end up planning out this battle that's during the day where they take the enemy by surprise. Almost, they set up beforehand where they like flood the river, they light fires to make the battlefield smoky, and they still almost lose this battle. And during it, Kojiro kind of takes charge and just kills a lot of people. He kind of goes off in this battle. And when this happens, the main head of this group is like, yeah, this kid's awesome. Maybe he'll die with us. And this sets Tokiyuki off. When they get back and they're all kind of reveling from their victory, in quotes from that day, Tokiyuki kind of stands up to the head of this group and tells him that he's being a fucking idiot, and tries to sober him up by throwing what seems like water, but is actually more alcohol on him, and just telling him that, hey, my friend risked his life for you guys, and you're talking about dying glorious deaths. You're being assholes. Don't make this kid throw his life away because you want to be prideful. This sets the man off, and he tries to fight Tokiyuki. This doesn't go great for him. We then get Tokiyuki drunk, which is a choice. Kind of beats the shit out of this guy with his ass. I don't know why we chose to use his ass, but we did. And this ends up kind of making him see a reason and go, okay, fine, we'll retreat and we'll link up with the other village. I believe
They start evacuating the families.
Yeah. And at this point, Sadamune and his rat boyfriend are with
I forgot.
are with the provincial official. They're both like, hey man, Sadamune gets out of it by saying that his eye is swollen because he doesn't want to deal with the guy and sends his rat boyfriend to deal with it. And rat boyfriend goes, hey, so I can tell that they're retreating. We should definitely let them do that so we can just take the land and not worry about it. And the provincial official goes, no, we saw those kids. They're awful. We need to get rid of them. And the guy goes, yeah, no, you're right. They're kind of the worst, but I don't want to fight them. They're bad news. And the official tells him, no, that's exactly why we have to kill them. They're going to be a problem later. I don't remember if we do any more after
it
that.
It just ends with them on the chase to them. So it leads into the segue for what is gonna be the escape scene for the next episode.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. I liked seeing the battle tactics. It was very interesting seeing them fight in like a battlefield and not like close quarters combat, like short,
and actually use like strategy
skirmishes.
and stuff.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Honestly. Yeah, it's a really nice expansion from the stuff we get in the defending the village.
Also, we get Gemba actually being decent in at least one scene in this episode, so that's nice.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really like about that scene is it felt like it was kind of like over really quickly, and it was just kind of a bit of like, it was just like, okay, this is gonna be a very like in your face kind of just like slog, and hopefully we can last till night. Anyways, it's night. We survived.
We
but,
did it, Reddit.
But also, I mean, give it credit. I mean, it's like, hey, these warriors are really good at their job. They're really good to have. We should actually really make sure we get the ones that are alive out of here because they're very helpful in the upcoming war that we're going to have at some point. So I like that aspect of it. As always, the show just looks really fucking pretty when they do anything. Tokiyuki is wonderful.
Yeah, he shines so much this entire episode. I wish we didn't gag one of the most central, like, cool character moments for him in this episode because he gets his point across before the alcohol kicks in. And it's like the scene's still really rad. The entire build for it, all his points get across, and they do wind up using the fact that Tokiyuki gets drunk and is acting like a fool, like, in his favor. With how the leader of these samurai react. So, like, it doesn't go completely to waste. This is certainly not the worst gag the show's done.
Yeah, that was last episode.
True.
I think it's really odd because there's a couple of small things I could pick at, but I don't think they're really important at all. The one thing that I think is really odd about this is that Ayako doesn't get to come to this fight. Why?
Yeah, Ayako
because she's a woman, but you're gonna put her on the battlefield later, right? Because that's the whole point of her as a retainer, right? Is that she's gonna fight on the battlefield because she's strong enough to do. I
mean, to be fair, these are like very traditional samurais.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure they held a lot of like women can't be samurai kind of ideologies at this time. I could be wrong, but that could be what they're saying. Is like, hey, these are very like authentic samurai types where the women and children do not belong on the battlefield kind of types. So that would even set them off more, make them less likely to retreat. could be like the idea behind it as well.
And there is
just to defend the show. with
yeah,
that.
and there is an argument that he knows that they like the kind of high emotional riled up they get, and it's just not safe. I completely get not sending the Shrine Maiden. Understandable. It's weird. I get it. Like it's fine. It's just it leaves a weird taste in my mouth for it. That's not why. That's none of this is why this show's below Senpai this week. Exactly what John said. I'm looking at this rating as my overall thoughts at this point. I think Elusive has a better episode this week, hands down. I just Elusive is the only show of these four where I've had moments this season where I've been like, I'm not a fan of something you've done. Like, it's had something that's held it back. And while it's had really incredible highs, I've really enjoyed the characters and the ride I've gotten with Senpai. So if I had to choose between the two of them, which is where I am, because Alya just has such a killer lead up to its finale that, like, I want it to be here in top 3. Like, it's between these two, and for me, it goes to Senpai.
I get that.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, it's quite literally the exact same thing. But this episode, it was good. We got a lot of good stuff. Again, the drunk scene was a choice, but like whatever.
I thought it was fine.
A lot of
Yeah,
shows this season make choices
bad.
sometimes.
Compared to how some of those scenes go,
Yeah.
like that was pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah, like another character gets drunk 4 episodes ago. But again,
Let's not talk about that one.
because it is at this point it really is a which show do I want more to be in the top 3? Which one do I think is going to have a stronger end? Which one do I want to end? Which have I enjoyed more? And again, like this show has had realistically probably higher highs than Senpai has had, because the highs in the show have been insane. But God, is this show's lows been some of the lowest of this entire season. It has had some scenes that have just outright pissed me off, and maybe that I thought were just bad. Like I mentioned this shot earlier, we were just sitting in call. Makeine has had some scenes that are like that make you uncomfortable, because it has the theme of the lemon in like we'll get to in like episode 2. It has the zombie character member of the student council. Those are just kind of uncomfortable in there. It doesn't have outright character assassination like they do with Gemba. It doesn't have the entirety that was 50% of last episode. And like Senpai, I don't think it's had any like big negative thing. It just it had some not amazings. But I think Senpai has been just a very consistently good show the whole time, and has had really good moments. This last episode was on the slower side, and it is an interesting episode 11. But like, I think we can say that about the next show as well. With an interesting choice to do it for an episode 11.
I really like. Well, I thought this fucking ruled, but I get what you mean, because this show leaves you with the. We're gonna go on the Makeine.
We'll talk about it next.
Makeine
Are we all
leaves
done with this one?
Makeine leaves you with a question that really is: what is your last episode gonna be?
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited for this bullshit you're gonna pull.
I'm watching it tonight.
What
I can say that right
what
now.
I will say about Elusive is, like, on a pure production level, yeah, the show clears this season. It's incredible. But also, like, on a pure production level, Wistoria cooks Senpai, right? But I also enjoy Senpai more than Wistoria, like, from like a full story narrative and where I'm at with its characters and what I've gotten out of it. That's why I voted Wistoria off last week.
Magic Man go burr.
But yeah, let's get into it, Michael. You are
He's
up.
very clearly not a magic man.
Yeah, actually, that is the entire point.
That's the whole idea of the show.
There's other magic men there.
Yeah, Michael, let's talk about
Okay.
Makeine.
But yeah, Makeine, Two Losing Heroines. We had the final episode this week, episode 11, the final episode this week. But yeah, so this episode starts cold open. No opening this week.
Fucking crazy.
Because we get credit. It's one of the things I saw the credits, was like credits. Oh shit, no opening, crazy. Means we're gonna go crazy this week.
Because the opening's too happy. Did we have a Senpai opening this week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay. It might have actually
Um,
just flat opened with it.
Yeah, it did.
That might have been why.
So, like, really bad at remembering exact orders of events, but like, so generally this episode focuses mainly the entire like center point of this episode is Komari needs to present the club's activities at this event that's happening, which is we see at the end the event happens, and this feels like there's very little clubs presenting here. Maybe because the idea is that this specifically clubs that don't do a lot, they need to like actually present what they've been doing to like get around their
So
temporary dissolution.
it's also that I don't want to like impose what I got to experience with student government stuff with whatever happens in Japan, because fuck if I know how similar they are. When we did student government stuff, you don't do everything in one day because there's too many clubs. So you schedule people for like, so you have like 4 or 5, and you want to get through it so that those people can go home and you can do the rest of the student government business that doesn't involve the clubs. Which is also why they're like, we have a timetable, move it. But we'll get there.
So Kamari, notably, is very shy. She doesn't want to. She's very scared to do this. Nervous, very scared to do this presentation, where she has to present all this information because she's talking to people she's never spoken to before. And so the first like half of this episode is Nukamizu and Yanami trying to kind of break Kamari out of her shell, get her some practice with talking to people, going out in public, vibing, existing. They go to a zoo, go to the petting zoo section. Kamari's apparently every animal's really big fans of Kamari.
Why wouldn't it be? She's great.
True. Well, Yanami has like 15 snacks on her at like every single second this entire episode. Like every time we cut her, she's holding something new to eat. It's crazy. But so they're at the zoo. Kamari's like, okay, Nukami, I gotta practice again. Being outside, it's a little different. It's a little harder still than just like being in the club because that's like safe space for her. And she goes to do it, and she's struggling. And they're 2 days out from this meeting. And Nukamizu goes, I think I should just do the presentation. I don't think you're gonna be able to do it by that point. And she goes, fuck you. I'm trying so hard. You are not. It feels like you aren't appreciating or acknowledging the fact that I'm working this hard on this. And so she rightfully storms off, pissed off at him. Nukamizu goes, fuck. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't exactly what he meant there. Because he understands she's working hard. He does, like, he sees it. But he understands in 2 days, this isn't turning around. This isn't something she'll be able to get over this quickly. And this is also him misreading how she is. Which we get to later, his misread. This leads to them essentially not speaking for 2 days because she's pissed off at him. Again, rightfully pissed off at him. And Nukamizu attempts to try to like say something, but he doesn't really have the words to say it or like the time to really get it out. He has some talks with Yanami about some stuff here, I think.
He talks with his sister too.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because
right?
Yanami goes, hey, you fucked up, right? But like you don't want to leave it like this, so you should just say, okay, I fucked up, and then go talk to her. That would be the right thing to do, because you care, right? And that's Yanami's talk, basically. And his sister is like...
Yeah, I do remember the sister stuff. His sister's like, she's like, oh wow, you like I think it's like you're talking more, and also like, when I was younger, you spent all your time with me. Like you're such a great brother. Like especially like back in elementary school, you didn't play with talk with any of your friends. You played with me. And then he internally goes, because I didn't have any friends. But anyway, and she's like, yeah, you always helped me, but you never like imposed on me. You just kind of helped me be the person I want to be. So this friend of yours, because he mentions like he's having troubles with a friend, and she goes, and so this friend of yours, what kind of person do you want her to be? And he goes, fuck. That's why like he makes the connection.
I think I'm understanding is what he says.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I think I get what you're saying here. And then they get home and he goes, how did you know it was a girl? And she just goes, womanly intuition.
Because you only hang out with women.
But,
you have one guy friend, and I've met him tangentially once.
Yeah, but then this leads to the night of the student council thing, or evening. It's like pretty dark out. It
sleep.
Whatever.
Okay, but also they've shown it get like that dark at 5 p.m. in the show before.
Well,
to
so
be fair,
if it's winter, that's what happens.
it does get
Fair.
that dark at 5 p.m.
True.
Yeah. So the meeting's happening. Nukumizu tries to get one last talk with Komari. She goes, "I can't right now. Gotta go in. Gotta do this meeting." And so the meeting starts. Nukumizu and Yanami are just sitting outside, kind of like listening in on it, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but whatever. Don't worry about it. And so it gets to Komari, and it's one of those things where you kind of expect it to go well because you want good things to happen, but you fully expect there's no way this goes well. And as expected, it doesn't go well. Komari fumbles it. She's super nervous. She can't get the words out. She's fumbling with her water bottle. Everything's going about as wrong as it possibly could. Mac, I guess more things could go on, but whatever. And Nukumizu's outside. He goes, "For everyone else in this room, this is just going to be a small blip that happened. They're going to forget about it probably tomorrow. But for Komari, this will be a core memory, essentially. This will be something that will stick with her forever. She will never forget the night that this happened." And then he puts his foot in his fucking mouth as he enters the room and goes, "Hey guys, I'm the president of the Lit Club." And Komari goes, "What the fuck are you doing in here? Screw you," and runs off.
Throws a water bottle at him. It throws the
throws a
open water bottle at him.
And he just kind of stands there and goes, "Fair."
So
And
anyway,
then he
here's my
gives
club
the-
activity
yeah,
report.
Yeah, he gives the presentation of this club activity report. Also before this, he's talking to the zombie person because she's been part of Student Council. She's here. She goes, "So Komari, the little one, if she stumbles, give her some help. Try to get her through this. This is new to her." And she does. She does actually
Yeah.
get her through the first sentence of it. Then Komari kind of struggles to get through the next few. So after this whole meeting, because this realistically is like a 10-minute, 15-minute meeting total, which is why Komari's so nervous because she needs to get through his stuff quickly. They go, and then he goes, "Okay, we got to go find Komari," because they don't know where she went at this point. She just kind of ran off. So it's the whole gang's looking for her. By the whole gang, it's Lemon, Yanami, and the president and vice president. So they're all trying to find her. He goes, checks the bike ride and goes, "Okay, her bike's with me. She didn't leave." And he goes, "Okay, where's like the one place she would be? It's the fire escape. That's like this gang's spot, is this fire escape." And he finds at the fire escape. He tries to say something. I think she tries to say something back. Then he gets a text. And she just absolutely lays bare everything in a stream of like 30 texts in a row. That joining the Lit Club is super important for her. This was like the one place she felt like safe. She knew everyone there. She liked it there. Which is why she needs this place. This is something she needs to do, and why she feels so compelled to do it alone. This is like her thing to keep going. Then we also get Nukumizu internally going, "I was wrong about her. She isn't like me. She may be a loner, but not because she wants to be. She's just really bad at talking to people." He's like, "I can just be alone and vibe, because I'll just sit there and read manga or whatever. He'll read his light novels, and he'll just exist." But Komari needs that person. She may be bad at getting that person to be there, but she needs them. I don't remember if he gets any words out after this, but they have a little talk about like,
he sends his text that we don't get to see right away.
Yeah, we don't get to see this for like 5 minutes because he's a dumbass. It sends the worst text ever. But whatever. Then Lemon shows up and she goes, "Stop bullying Komari right now."
Chokehold.
They go. Then Lily puts him in a chokehold. He goes,
He fucking taps out. I'm dying.
Yeah. Komari goes, "No, he wasn't bullying me." Blah blah blah. And they go, "Okay, but like we saw the text," and they go, "What?" And they go, "Yeah, it was in the club." And then also Yanmi shows up like right after Lemon walks in and gives him in a chokehold. And they go, "Yeah, you put that in the Lit Club group chat." And they were like, "Oopsie." But yeah, and they have all big heart to heart. They're like, "You don't have to do this all yourself. We're all here to be your friends. We're all here with you." Which also then caps that portion caps off like a them going, okay, Nukabuzu, you're the president now. You said it. That's now your job. And Kamari gives like the strongest smile, like, yep, you took that position.
So there's something really funny here, which is that Lemon and Yanami go, so are you gonna like say anything to her? Like, and he goes, what do you mean I did? Which means that Kamari sent all those messages and they went, yo bro, too long, ain't gonna read that, let's go find her. To the point where they didn't see the one message at the very end that Nukabizu sends. Which is him saying, I will always be here for you.
Yeah.
Which, so, the girls...
I was like, I'll be with you forever
Yes.
or something.
I'll stay with you.
You always.
Yeah, I'll stay with you all, yeah.
And the girl...
It's very much like, that's a confession.
And the
but
girls...
Nukabizu's don't.
The girls bully the shit out of him. But, like, we even get, like, a character role of where every important character of the season is. Like, with the exception of the teachers. But like all the people, all like the relationship dynamic, yeah, all the relationship dynamics we've established, like we get shots of all of them, and then we get the shots of the gang on the roof. And you might as well have rolled credits, like real credits.
This feels like where you end. This felt like a perfect capstone to a season. What do we do next episode?
I'm so excited, though.
This is
so
fucking...
like. This isn't an example. This is an example where I'm like, oh no, what's the show gonna do? I'm so excited you have free reign for one last episode, which ideally is probably gonna focus on him, because you've had the girls the whole time. John, you are muted.
Listen, throw me the wrench here, dude. Give me the full fucking harem ending for our homeboy. Let's go. I believe.
There's something...
Also, then the next episode's title is like a paragraph. It's like a full sentence. It's crazy.
I love the titles of this show. They're always so
good.
This episode's fucking incredible. Go ahead.
I'll be real. I bawled my eyes out for that for the last 8 minutes. This episode is so good.
The last season's episode title is, am I actually just someone unseasoned rando who drops in for the last episode with the losing heroine?
What the fuck is it gonna be?
Dude, he's getting
nonsense
in there! I believe in my boy!
Fuck, you know what this is gonna be? It's gonna be the fucking assistant in the student government. Because he's in the opening, and we've seen him in, like, 2 shots of the entire show. He's a redhead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He
looks like the younger brother of, like, the student council president.
He's in the fucking opening, and we've got nothing with him.
I was like, is he at the meeting, I think?
He's there briefly before they do a shot of them together, like in the student council office this episode, where you see him hand. It's when they do the character role at the end. They cut to the student government office and he's handing the student council president the drink, and the girl's molding in the corner. Because God, so like this episode fucking nails misreading the room so hard, because nothing Nukabizu says is wrong. It's just he executes it wrong. Everything he's saying is technically right in the situation. Like, she can't do it, unfortunately, and he's trying to stop her from having something that is going to negatively set her back even more. Like, he understands how much work she's putting in, which is why he can't let her present. And he gets that. But he chooses to say the physically worst possible thing always.
Yeah, saying you can't do this is absolutely not how you do this.
Actually runs it down, though.
But, and for what it's worth, what he does at the actual meeting is the most light novel bullshit ever. And also is almost implied that he's gunning for, like, she was never going to be the president. This is my fault she's here because I showed up late. Don't blame her. She's doing great. This is all on me. Which is why Komari fucking pelts him in the face with the water bottle, because that's not what's going on. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want this out in the moment. And that entire segment is just handled perfectly. God, I love this. And then you get the fucking silly bits of this episode where they're just fucking vibing, and Yanami has 2 fucking churro sticks, and you think that she's gonna give him one to help cheer him up, but nope, they're both hers, baby. He ain't getting any of that shit. We also have her diet gag that's been going on the whole season that we don't mention because it's just offhanded comments every episode.
Oh yeah. She's down 4 kilograms, which is only like up 1 from before summer.
She is perfect this episode in every way. Like, all of her bits are funny, but also her being like the bit with the churros, how she delivers her line of, is there anything I can do to help? Okay. Just how she delivers it is so good.
Yeah.
I also like the. I think I like what my favorite part of this episode is though is like when Nikamizu is like, hey, to the one student council member is like, hey, listen, she's really nervous. Could you just like help her out if she needs it, please? And she actually does try to
Yeah.
help her out a little bit, but the one in charge of the meeting is just kind of blowing past. It's like we're already late. It's like we're already behind. It's like, but that's not her fault that you guys are behind. That's kind of on you guys.
What's crazy is no one in that room, like, no one in that room's comfortable. No one in the room wants to, like, most people in that room, like, from how they're like, they look on screen, almost look like they kind of want them to give her the time so she can get through it. But they're not going to give her that chance. Which is what sets Nikamizu off, is because he doesn't want this to be even worse.
Because like he said in his thing, he's like, listen, this might be like just a brief moment that everyone will forget about tomorrow.
It's so good
for them, but for her, this is gonna feel like shit for the rest of like her entire high school. It feels like.
But what he doesn't get is that rushing in to save her is not what she wants. She would actually rather. It's almost worse. In some ways. And then his understanding of him understanding the situation on the fire escape is perfect. Him making the connections and the dots, it's fucking wonderful. I also really appreciate, if you read all of her text, some of the points she makes are really fucking poignant. Of like I was the only one here when this started, like when the club started. You guys are all here, yes, but Nikamizu, you were a ghost member for half the time, and all the other girls are a part of other things. At any point in time, you can all disappear. That fucking sucks, dude. That's rough. That's unfortunate for her. And for us, we obviously know that Nikamizu has no intention of leaving this fucking club.
No. But the fact that she feels so isolated, she's like, I feel like everyone's just gonna leave me, and I don't have any friends still, is like, that hits so close to home. It's just so sad.
This episode
just
fucking rules.
This episode's
It
so
feels really good, man.
And I can't believe that we got to the end. We got to 11 episodes of a show that made me go, he's perfect for all of these girls. And I go, oh shit, but he might be really perfect for Komari.
But he's actually also terrible for all three of them.
Yeah,
he's amazing for what's her name though, because their banter is wonderful.
Yanami or
Yanami.
Yeah, but like him and Lemon are cute too, though.
Him and Lemon are cute, but they're just two idiots. Whereas this one is they're two idiots, but they're two loner idiots, so it's a little bit different. They
all have really interesting and cool pairing dynamics that makes them all appealing, which is what makes this show rad as fuck. And it also is almost set up perfectly where it actually is maybe better for him if he just winds up with none of them, and better for all of them if they don't wind up with him.
True.
His sister is a fucking character not from the show. She's from another. She's a fucking Monogatari character. I swear to God. She just feels like she slips out of that series instead. She fucking pokes her tongue out at him.
She
does the tongue. She does the little fucking lean the tongue poke. She's fucking gremlin.
Oh, we also have the bit like right after he has the fight at the zoo, where Karen's her name. Pink hair.
Yeah, Karen. It's like Himahia.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Karen Himamiya. Yeah,
Himamiya.
Yeah, he called her Himamiya. And she's like, Nikamizu. Like she finally just talks to him first in the classroom. She goes, so what's up? What's up with you? And he goes, nothing. Also, why the fuck are you talking to me? He goes, and she just goes, oh, you have like the exact same vibes about you right now that Yanabe does. It's like interesting. It is like it's also just crazy to get her there.
I love her character. She just like pops up in random moments the last like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's just like, hey, what the fuck did you do, idiot? Go fix it.
I like the fact that like all the other girls you get that they lose to are all characters who would be so prevalent in the traditional style of like their own romance stories, right? Like they would be prevalent main girl character. Like they all have unique personalities that are like very center of like the different types of the childhood friends that all work in really cool ways. Like all the characters in this show are really unique and really fun.
This is actually a difficult vote. Oh well.
And this is all not even mentioning how fucking amazing the entire soundtrack is this episode of Makeine.
So
It's,
good.
I mean, I think generally the seasons have pretty solid, but like the piano song to accentuate like the intro to this episode and also the one at, like for like the entire final section. Oh my goodness.
I will
Dude,
say,
I love the piano part of Alya too, where it's just like he plays it's like, oh, that
Yeah.
must not have been good enough to make mom happy. I'll just do better. And he's practicing at home. And she's like, stop. And he's like, what?
I will say, since this episode didn't have a lot of its major beats, this is probably like the weakest OST week for Senpai too, because Senpai's music fucking rules. But there's not the core moments for it where you get most of like its big swell music, that are really rad. But that's also a part of Senpai I adore this season. Elusive suffers, I think, a little because it's a historical show, so like its music's very
I
grounded.
can do too.
It does have a couple of songs that go fucking ham when it starts doing like its mystical stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring up the wheel! We got 2 slays on Senpai, 2 slays on Elusive. Who could have seen this coming? Not
I
the
don't know
power,
if anyone.
not the power ranking. It could never have.
I don't know if anyone saw what my name was on there.
I don't know if you saw what my name was on there.
I just
Stats.
close it so I can be surprised by the nonsense that is
All right.
our votes.
So yeah, so the show it lands on is the show that gets slayed. The arrow slays the show. Man, we've had a wheel for the past 3 weeks. It'd be rough here.
Oh,
But I think 2 actually. I think Pseudo Harem. That was fucking wild.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened either.
I think you can set how long the wheel spins for.
I think my thing just like my internet died for a second or something. I don't know. But it did land on Elusive.
It landed on Elusive. That is for sure. Well, that's not a very fair wheel.
I mean, do you want do you want me
That's-
to re-roll it?
That's so rough because if we re-roll it and it lands on Senpai, I'm gonna feel absolute garbage about it. But I also
Okay.
completely get you having clicked it and it doing a
hear me-
really
hear me
shitty
out.
spin.
Hear me out. We spin it. If it lands on Senpai, we spin it one more time. Best of 3.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Sure.
I'm
Sure,
in.
best of 3.
Impromptu BO3.
And sometimes it's just that
No,
simple.
it's Elusive.
Elusive already
And
lost the
sometimes,
best.
and
Yeah.
sometimes, the wheel
Sometimes
agrees, and that's what it
sometimes the
was.
wheel goes, no, I said what I said.
I did not make a mistake. You made the mistake.
You
I finally lost.
you
the wheel.
doubt it. Dude, this is my season to win wheels apparently.
Right.
Besides the one time where it was both of my shows on it, and the last time it was also one of my shows on it. So I think I'm actually probably a perfect balance of winning and losing wheels this season. I mean, this is one of those seasons where it absolutely does not, it does not hurt to be the show coming in 4th at all. Holy shit, dude. What a killer season we've had. And I'll let you know, stat-wise, I know what they look like. Dude, this stat race was tight for a lot of these shows. Most of these shows. We'll get to it next week, ladies and gentlemen, where I will be pulling out the spreadsheet to give you what you've been waiting for the whole season. I know everybody only watches this podcast for the stats. That's what we're here for, baby. But yeah, so we have to wait for, I think, Elusive's episode to come out. I don't think its episode 12 is out yet.
For which one?
Elusive?
I mean,
Oh,
Elusive just got voted.
it is.
Oh, shoot, you're right. I'm sorry. My brain died.
As of 2 days ago.
Okay, and it was too? Okay. So yeah, then everything is out. It's just a matter of if we want to wait for the Alya dub. When does that come out?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
It comes out on Mondays.
then we're fine.
Yeah.
So it will literally just be next available day that we want. That is not ideally in the next 2 days because fuck us. So we will figure out the day that we're gonna do that.
I don't think we're going to be choosing shows after our last episode.
Probably
this
not because we
season.
have to get something else sorted first. And most likely it will not match up good scheduling wise to do both at the same time.
We
Uh,
never have
Probably.
scheduling
But
issues.
what works out well is that there are a couple of shows this season that are. So we have a very large window of when shows start this season. So some stuff has already started, like today.
Uzumaki came out today, and it's taking everything in me not to go watch it.
I mean, you can, right? It's not going to get picked for the season.
Will
Isn't it only
not?
4 episodes?
Is it? I have to check.
I'm like, I want to say Uzumaki's doing a weird thing.
That was what I thought because I didn't think it had enough content to do like a full season.
Yeah, I don't honestly know.
I didn't have it on the
Um,
list because I didn't.
It
think...
is 4 episodes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you
then I
totally
can
can
go
go
with
do
that.
that.
Sweet.
But I know I want to say our latest start date is October. Of the ones I included is October 19th. There's a show starting in November. It's obviously not on the list because that's unfortunate for you. We're not delaying an entire season
For one
to then
show.
have to delay another entire season.
Mhm.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you're
And the cycle continues.
did you know that almost half of our podcast this next season could be a show by the
JC
same
staff.
studio? We could just pick 5 JC staff shows. We shouldn't. Might pick one of them, maybe 2.
Could
but
be fun. Could be
Would
fun.
be
fun.
fun.
We also have a couple of shows next season that are going to be Netflix shows. I think we got 3 of them. If any of them get picked, and some of them are interesting. One of them is Ranma, which is open for pick because it's just like Urusei Yatsura, where technically it's the show again. So I don't.
Ancient reincarnations of a show, basically.
Yeah, if you thought, oh boy, is Urusei Yatsura gonna put to the test of how well has this aged? Ranma's a
really
different
gonna
beast.
do it.
But also, it's also written by a female
But
mangaka.
guys, just wait until we revive the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Mason's favorite show. That's a show that definitely aged well.
I'll tell you about something later.
Oh boy, it is quite possible though. If Ranma gets picked, we might have the first willingly ecchi pick show that I might be excited for on this podcast in the history of ever, because it's Ranma. So like, yeah. What can I say? But with that, we will see you guys for the finale. Where it'll be Senpai, Alya, and Heroines. Usually how this goes, we usually just roll into talking about the shows instead of doing the recap, and then when we talk about the shows we wind up talking about the last episode because that has a pretty big impact on what we do. We don't usually do full summaries for the last episode. It is just one episode, so we might fuck around and do it. Like I said, I will have some stats for the season. I will have stats on the lowest place every show got. I will have stats on what shows made it, what shows were in top 3 for each week to have a total. So the shows have a chance of, out of 36, I believe is the number.
hmm
I think that's right.
Yeah, 36. Because we didn't miss a week.
Crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened
Well,
since
but
like my
we
first
did-
season.
I mean, like we barely missed a week. Technically, we were like 3 days late on like starting something, but like, close enough.
But we had the right amount of episodes.
Yeah, we had all 9 episodes to lead up to to lead up to the finale.
Mhm.
So which that will be, that'll be shorter. The episode count will maybe be shorter next season because we will, again, some changes are happening, but we'll talk about those when we pick shows because that'll be when we have them set in stone and we know for sure. But either way, have a great night, guys.